All right, welcome, welcome. Mary's here, we're good. Okay, cool beans. I want to start by just thanking all of you for coming here today. I really appreciate you all joining me in my workshop. My name is Tatiana Barlow. I'm an emotional wellness guide. I help women learn to be regulated and have unconditional self-love for themselves. Today's workshop, we're going to start off learning a few tips about your nervous system, how it operates, and then we're going to jump right in because most of what we're going to be doing is actually hands-on. So you're going to be working with the person next to you. Cool beans. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I got you. I ain't trying to yell at nobody. Alrighty, so we're just going to jump right in here because I want us to get into the meat and potatoes. Can everybody see the screen? Okay, I'm not blocking it. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so starting off, anxiety, fear, anger, frustration, overwhelm, overstimulation, irritation. Raise your hand if you have experienced any of these emotions before. Yes, everybody in this room. It's part of the human experience, not to say these emotions are bad, but we all are aware of how intense they can feel, especially when you're in the moment, when something is going on, it feels like it's the only thing in the world. The intention of today's workshop is for you to be able to leave here with some tools to help you get through these moments when you are experiencing anxiety, fear, anything of that sort. Okay. So what I do want to start off, I would like all of you to go ahead and get out your phones and make a note. On that note, you can title it Regulation Workshop, whatever it is that's going to help you remember it, recognize it later. But go ahead and take out your notes. I'll give you a second to do that. Yeah, in the Notes app, or if it's an Android, whatever the Android version of Notes app is.
That's no.
No, it's not a dig. Oh, it ain't even like that.
We have the Notes app.
Oh, my dang.
I would just say a chisel and a stone.
Not.
I'm just saying.
Alrighty. So everyone raise their hands very quickly on the last slide, and I put the words up here on the left also again, or on the right again, so you can see them. I want you to think back, what are some moments that came to mind when you saw the words on the last slide? As a first step in being able to regulate ourselves is being aware when our body's internal state is even changing. So I want you to just write down 2 or 3, you don't have to share these with the class or with everybody here, of moments where you may feel tension rising, you may feel some anxiety, maybe when you have a short temper, reacting quickly. These don't have to be big things. This can be anything in your day-to-day life where you notice that you get a little something going on. Go ahead and take about 2 minutes, a minute or 2 to write that down, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna come back to this later. I have my little timer up here. Okay, lovely, lovely. And we are going to visit these again at the end of the workshop. I want to point out that what we're doing today is we're not fixing anything. We're not fixing ourselves. We're not hyper-analyzing ourselves. We're just learning how to experience how our bodies naturally know how to return to a calm state. So let's jump in a little bit to the nervous system and why it matters. Why is it so important? So, quick background here. Our nervous systems have 2 main modes. We have a go mode and we have a rest mode. Go mode meaning your sympathetic nervous system is activated, commonly known as your fight or flight. Then we have our rest mode when we're activating our parasympathetic nervous system, also known as rest and digest. Neither of these are bad. The sympathetic nervous system gets a bad rap, but we need that guy. When we need to be ready and we need to be in go mode, that's essential. But we also want to make sure that we're fully returning to rest and digest once we're done with whatever it is we're doing. So your sympathetic nervous system doesn't just activate when you're being chased by a lion, the common example. Any of these words that you saw on the last slide, anxiety, fear, when you're experiencing any of those, you have activated your sympathetic nervous system. You're in go mode. Make sure I'm on the right one. When we live in a low-grade sympathetic state, meaning you don't completely come back to rest and digest, you have a low-grade sympathetic nervous system going on, that can lead to, what we'll see on this next slide. That's when you start to see symptoms, or I shouldn't word them as symptoms, but when we can be a little bit more irritable, yeah, that thing did just kick in. When our sympathetic nervous system is running in this consistent low grade, then sometimes we can end up being a little more irritable, a little more reactive, in a rush. You know how you feel when you're always on the go, or even when you sit down and you're resting, but your mind is still going. Is somebody messaging me? Do I need to do something? Does somebody need me? Do I need to be here? We want to make sure that we're giving ourselves time and space to come back fully to rest and digest. That's when our body is able to be more patient and more responsive. We're able to be more focused. We're learning. We're getting deep sleep. When we're in that low-grade sympathetic state, sometimes you might see difficulty getting deep sleep at night or waking up. I think it's between 3 and 4. There's an actual range, like 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, where you typically might see people rising in the nighttime, not standing up. You know what I mean. Slower digestion, lower appetite, your immune system being suppressed. That's because your body's focused on getting safe in that moment. When you're in a sympathetic state, your body doesn't feel safe, fully safe to finish digesting, fully digest your food, heal your back, your knee, grow your hair, heal your skin. When you're in rest and digest, that's when your body does and takes place the natural processes that it already knows how to do for you. So what we're gonna start out with is our breath work. I know it sounds cliche, but your breath really is one of the best ways to directly tap into your nervous system. You can immediately activate your sympathetic nervous system. You can immediately activate your parasympathetic nervous system simply by using your breath. There's a lot of different forms of breath work out there. We're just gonna touch on a few basics today that you can apply to your daily life if you ever wanna use them. We're gonna start with nasal breathing. So this is gonna be between you and your partner. You're going to be breathing in. Did I already click it twice? There we go. Let me put this down. You're gonna be working with a partner. We're breathing in through our nose and out through our nose as slowly as possible. There's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. When you are exhaling, I want you to have your eyes closed. I want you to be fully present with your internal state and how you are feeling in that moment. You're gonna breathe in, out, 3 times. You're gonna go, your partner's going to go. If you would like, you can have a timer on your phone so you can see just how long can you extend that exhale. That exhale is what's really powerful here. And we're only breathing in and out through our noses. Make sense? Cool beans. Go ahead, figure out if there's any groups of 3s, which there might be. If there's any groups of 3s, that's perfectly fine. What we're really focused on here is at the end of your breath work, I want you to jot down in your notes app, how does your body feel? What are some words you would use to describe your internal state or how you are feeling? This can be paying attention to your heart rate, your mood, anything of that nature. Sound good? Any questions? I'm gonna set a timer up here. I'll have one going for about 3 minutes, but I don't want you focused on the time. It is common when doing a slow exhale for people to want to just get it done. When I exhale, I like to exhale so slowly that it doesn't actually even feel like I'm exhaling immediately. Almost feels like I'm holding my breath. But I'm letting the air out so slowly. You can see my shoulders start to relax. You can feel my body start to relax as I let that air out very slowly. Cool beans? Go ahead and get started, and I'll check in with you in about 3 minutes. You're supposed to. Yeah, with your partner. Yes.
Focus on how you feel the sensations. Oh, I supposed to do it at the same time.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's regroup. How did that feel?
Great.
Initial thoughts. Lovely, lovely. This one I like to use particularly when I sense myself starting to rush. When I feel like I'm rushing out of the house or I'm starting to get a little too antsy. It slows down time. If you notice, it almost feels like time is going so slowly and really only 20 seconds has passed. I think that's my longest exhale, I believe, was like around 20 seconds. Did I hear a question? No. Oh, for this next one, do something slightly different. We're still inhaling through the nose, but we're going to exhale with a sigh. We're not forcing the air out. We're just breathing in. Like you just dropped so much weight off your shoulders. The day's off your shoulders. We're gonna do this 3 times, just like you did with the last one. This one will obviously move by a little bit quicker. And then same thing, I want you to write down in your notes app what you notice, if you notice any differences between this breath work versus round 1. I want you to discuss this with your partner, the person sitting next to you. Sound good? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Yes, yes.
It's
Lovely, lovely. Let's regroup. Thoughts on this one compared to the first one? Yes.
We were just talking about how like the first one feels like more concentrated, like let go, whereas this one's just like let it go.
Yes,
You know, just
yes.
quickly.
Freeing, very freeing, weight off your shoulders. I like to use this one essentially in that same way. If I've had a busy day or I've just been going and going and going, I'm like, okay, take a break. Pull over, take a second, catch your breath. Any other thoughts that you'd like to share? Yes.
I like that it's fast.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't have the time to really do the breathe the nasal one, but the sigh you do a lot. And what she was saying is that sometimes you catch yourself doing it naturally.
Exactly, yes. Yes, yes. I like that you mentioned how this one is quicker. Not that we are always worried about time, but I really like to have different tools for different, if I'm out in public or if I'm at the store or I'm wherever, stuff that's accessible. It's not always accessible for me to sit and close my eyes if I'm driving. You know what I mean? For this next one, we are going to do together. I want you to notice the contrast. So what we just did now is we activated our parasympathetic nervous system in round 1 and in round 2. But your breath is so powerful, I want you to see how quickly you can even ramp up your sympathetic nervous system. So what we're going to do is rapidly breathe in and out of our nose, not our mouth. I don't want anybody passing out. We're breathing in quickly in and out of our nose like this for just 10 seconds. We'll all do this together, okay? We're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1. Clarity. The same way we can't speak when we're holding our breath out loud, or we can't speak when we're inhaling, that tends to be connected with our inner voice as well. If you hold your breath for a minute, you can have no thoughts. That can be very powerful if your thoughts are running and they're driving you crazy and you need to redirect. Okay, now that we've explored calming the body through breath, I want to take a minute to explore through touch as well. Touch is deeply regulating, extremely powerful. We're going to start with tapping, but I do want to give you another side note of simply touching your own shoulders or chest, the same way you console a friend or a child if they're feeling sad or they're struggling, like, oh, it's okay. You rub their back, you rub their chest, you rub their shoulder. You can do that for yourself as well. Taking the time to give yourself that attention. You're the most important person in your life. You deserve the attention, you deserve the time to give to yourself. So if you're in your room or you're ever in a situation where you're just feeling a little bit of emotional overwhelm, you can console yourself. Physical touch, like I said before, can be very deeply regulating. But what we're gonna do here, we're gonna start with EFT tapping. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, typically used for trauma release because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. But I also love to use it to help myself to downregulate because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Everyone lift your non-dominant hand. We're gonna go through the tapping points together. You tap here on the side of your hand. This is one of them. You can tap with 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, whole hand, whatever resonates with you. Okay? Next point being the beginning of our eyebrow. That's a tapping point. Side of the eye. Under the eye. Under the nose. Under the lip. Well, I have my mic on, but the collarbone area, you can either tap below your collarbone in the little pocket or just have your hand over the area in general. Then underneath our underarm here and the top of the head. You don't need to whip every single one of these out every time you want to perform EFT tapping, but these are your meridian points on your body that you can use for that. Quick story to show you an experience that I had with EFT tapping. One time I was driving home on the 101 rush hour traffic going nowhere. And I got a call from my credit union. This was after I just financed my car. And they called me to say that they made a mistake, but they needed another $500 from me on the fly. All right. All right, great. We're already in rush hour traffic. Didn't love to hear that. I was very frustrated. I was trying not to become frustrated because this guy's just a messenger and not his fault. But you can still hear the irritation in my voice. Even though I'm being nice to him, you can still tell that I'm not happy because you just asked me for $500 for a mistake that you made. And he had to go and ask some guy something, so he put me on hold for a couple minutes. Couldn't have been more than 3 to 5 minutes. It wasn't a long time. And while I was on hold, I was like, well, maybe I can try this EFT tap and see if it does something. I did just the points around my eye. I might have also did these two, because I'm driving, so I'm not doing the whole, I'm already irritated. So I'm sitting there in the car doing my EFT tap and like, whatever, let's see if this does something because I'm not happy. By the time he came back on the phone, I downregulated so much, it was like I didn't even care about the money. I hadn't figured out where I was gonna get the money from, but I was like, at the end of the day, the solution's the same. It's either the money or the whip. I'm not giving you my car. So at the end of the day, this is gonna result with me giving you the money. So why don't I just move on? It's not that serious. I'm good, I'm fine. I'm gonna have the money, I'm whatever. But I was so fascinated with how quickly my body had downregulated. I was almost embarrassed, I'll be honest, because I had 2 completely tones of voice when he was on the phone. He left the phone, I'm like, okay, cool. He comes back, I'm like, yeah, it's all right, man. Yeah, I'll sign the contract, just send me a thing later. Completely off my shoulders, I was fascinated. So EFT tapping can be very powerful when you can get yourself to use it. I know when you're in the moment, like we said in the beginning, you can be really overwhelmed. You don't always think to actually try something. And EFT tapping does require a gentle tap. But if you can get yourself to use it in the moment, it really can help you downregulate very quickly. One more that we'll explore is vagus nerve stimulation. There's a ton of ways to stimulate the vagus nerve, humming and touching your neck. We're going to explore it today using the nerve endings in our ear. Our ear has a lot of nerve endings that connect to the vagus nerve. One that I like to do particularly is pulling on my earlobe. You can pull on one, you can pull on both. You could also trace the cartilage of your ear. You can touch this tragus area in the middle. Whatever resonates most with you. This can help to calm the body. I actually noticed my baby cousin does this because I babysit for him sometimes. And when he's getting upset or overwhelmed, he actually goes like this, and that instinctively starts to pull on his ears because it activates that parasympathetic nervous system. This is one, I'm not recommending people to do anything while driving, but I drive in Los Angeles, so I have a fair share of driving stories. This is one that I like to use, especially since it does allow me to be a little tense in the moment. Because when I'm upset and I'm stubborn and I don't want to do anything, it can be sometimes a little bit more of a reach to get myself to gently tap around my face, but I can get myself to do this. And then this starts to calm me down, and I can then use other breath work or other mediums if I so choose, if I still need to. So now we're gonna tap and tug. I just wanted to say that. We're going to explore, you're gonna have opportunities to explore on your own with your partner, tapping different points. You don't need to use all of them, just the ones that you so decide, and playing with how you decide to pull on your ears, if you decide to pull the cartilage on the outside. This is very explorative play for you right now. While you are doing this, I want you to say one or all, if you so choose, of these affirmations that I chose here. I put, I am worthy. The whole point of me having this iPad, so I'm not turning around like that. We have, I am worthy, I'm deserving of all my desires, and I am enough simply because I exist. Now, if these are too deep, because I like to get deep, if these are too deep, you can select another affirmation for yourself. You can never go wrong saying I am beautiful, I am great, whatever resonates with you. But when you activate your parasympathetic nervous system while saying affirmations, especially affirming something that you are trying or you're working on, let's say you're working on shifting limiting beliefs, or you're working on shifting anything, it could be your diet, it could be your habits, affirming in the direction that you want. So let's pick diet, for example. Yeah, I eat healthy food all the time. It's so easy to take care of myself. I love preparing meals for myself. I love whatever. You say what resonates with you, or even working out. Yeah, being active is so easy for me. I always find great ways to activate my body and to keep myself healthy. I'm great with movement. You say these things while activating your parasympathetic nervous system, you're teaching your body that that is safe. Like, oh, it is easy for me to prepare meals for myself. Okay, then our bodies can then start to show us how this can be implemented in our daily life. And we start to develop these habits. Oh, all of a sudden it's not a big deal for me to have this meal instead, or to make this change, or to do this, or to do that. Oh, I am worthy. I am worthy of all of my desires. I am the most important person in my life. These things start to set into your body, because your body remembers and your body knows. Okay, so with your partner, go ahead and take a few minutes. It doesn't have to be too long. I want your partner to be able to go do your tapping and do your tugging. You'll do it as well with your affirmations of choice. And I would love if you were comfortable picking one of the affirmations to say together, to feel that amplification off of each other, to feel that energy bouncing off of each other. Sound good? Alrighty, go ahead and get started. I'll check in with you in about 2 minutes.
What about you? Because my earrings are like when I talk, I like a little bit, my ears. Like I'm beating it into myself.
Right.
It feels good.
It feels different to do the tapping as we're doing this one, like for certain.
Yes, yes. I love using these, especially for shifting limiting beliefs. If you're someone that's trying to change your relationship with time or money or your feelings towards certain things, your outlook on things, I love using EFT tapping while saying affirmations and teaching my body that it's safe, because your body knows. Your body has the guidance, your body has the answers. So when we can quiet it so that we can listen, it can show us these habits, it can show us this change, it can show us that everything that we desire is accessible to us. It's shifting our mindset and shifting ourselves is what's really going to bring it into fruition. I'm changing the slide on there. So I want you to think back to those moments that you wrote down in the beginning and think about which of these tools could you apply to those situations in which it could potentially help you. It's great to decide. I'm hearing you. It's very helpful to make some decisions in advance. It's kind of like if you wait until the morning to decide if you're going to get up early. You ain't getting up early. But if you decide the night before, the next morning I'm getting up at 7 a.m. Then the next morning you're getting up at 7 a.m. You already made that decision. So deciding in advance, like, hey, if I notice I start rushing, I'm going to use this. Or if I notice I'm getting a little irritable with my friends or I'm being a little short-tempered, I'm going to use this. I'm going to whip out this. Because in the moment, like we've said before, it can feel overwhelming. We can be overwhelmed by anxiety or whatever it is that we are experiencing. So go ahead, take about 60 seconds to jot down on your notes app, which of these tools do you feel like could be accessible to you and that you could use in those moments where you're feeling overwhelmed? Alrighty, not to rush you. I want to be a little bit mindful of time. I do want to extend a warm thank you for all of you for joining me at my workshop today. If you do want to find me on my socials, it is at i.simplyam on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And what we went through today is just a piece of a long journey that I've had, a beautiful journey of going from being reactive to regulated myself. I've always had intense emotions, and I was one of those people living in that low-grade sympathetic state. I've consolidated the practices and tools that I found to be most impactful for me and my journey into a guidebook so that I can share it with others. So if this is something that you're interested in deep dive in and becoming an emotionally regulated woman, you can access the guidebook on my website, and this QR code will take you to the website, or you can go to helloregulation.com. Thank you, thank you. That concludes our workshop for today.